only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Ask not what your country can do for you.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Hey. Oh, yeah. Welcome back to another episode of For the Republic. We are your hosts, Brittany and Nico Fideli. We are so excited to be back with you. It's been a couple weeks. We had a break because of sickness and because of the resurrection of our Lord and Savior.
I was going to say it was because we were learning Spanish, and then I was going to say, hola, guacamole,
Oh, that's not insensitive.
quesadilla.
Quesadilla is what your mom would say?
A fajita.
Yeah. A vajita.
Speaking of, I went to that place that I took you and your bestie.
Oh, in like the Palmyra area or whatever it is? Where was it?
Waterloo.
Waterloo.
I can't remember what the name of it is ever, but it's like delicious.
Yeah.
Got some
that was
nachos.
a great Mexican restaurant. It's a
What
good
did you
spot.
get? Did you get a fajita? Is that what you got there?
Yeah, I think so.
You got like like where they make it and then they serve the tortillas on the side or whatever.
Yeah.
And you eat it al carnita or something, whatever you call that. I don't ever remember. It's delicious. So if you're ever in the Waterloo area, make sure you stop in to that one place that I can't remember the name of. It's like La something.
Something.
La Mexicanos, maybe?
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm serious. I think it might be. I'll have to look it up. Really.
We're off to a bad start. Cancel.
We canceled ourselves 2 weeks in a row.
Cancel ourselves 2 weeks in a row.
So,
Well, hey guys, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. If you aren't new to the channel, spread the news. Spread the news that we are here. And we are coming at you every week, Sunday night, 7 p.m. here on YouTube. Click the bell click the bell icon to get notified when we drop a new episode.
I was wrong. It is not La Mexicanos.
La Fiesta Brava.
La Fiesta Brava.
Ah,
Yeah, it's delicious.
it was good stuff. Well, not a sponsor.
Not. They are not a sponsor, but if they want to, if you're watching and you want to sponsor us,
Don't know if we've really reached that demographic, especially with
after my intro.
After your intro. Yeah. But nonetheless,
I should get fired. Every week I always do something that I should get fired for.
I think you do it on purpose. You just try to see how much you can push the envelope, and then
until
eventually
you let me go.
I'll relieve you of the responsibility of doing this with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did force me into it.
But now you enjoy it, I think, hopefully.
Yeah. Yep.
Till I find a new partner and kick you out.
I thought about getting you sick so I could do it by myself, but
Yeah. Well, I was sick. You could have done it by yourself.
I didn't think about it till after.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, I should have done it by myself. Then I could have taken over. We would have just gotten tons of fans. It would have been like, wow, we love this show so much better without, what's his name?
Yeah. Without the creator of the show. Get him out of here.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I'll let you keep doing my my media stuff, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, I like the, I like the...
Like the logos and stuff and
Yeah.
the shorts and, all the editing and
Yeah.
all the work that goes into the show. You
You can do all the work. I'll just do all the entertainment.
Just do all the fun parts. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You're welcome.
All right. Well,
if you guys hashtag get rid of Nico in the comments.
hashtag.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh boy. So, a lot of things to catch up on.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. The last thing we talked about was the Oscars, and it seems like a century ago in our digital day and age.
I don't even think Will Smith exists anymore.
Yeah.
It's been that long.
Yeah, he's since.
I also have to. I do have to make a correction because I said Appalachia. It's alopecia. I think is the correct or alopecia.
Yeah, I forgot about
alopecia.
that. Yeah.
Alopecia. I think it's alopecia. I don't know.
Nice. Just kick her when she's down. She's already been humiliated by Chris Rock. Then you just make fun of her disease.
No, I mean, I didn't make fun of her disease. I just pronounced it wrong. But a disclaimer, I am no medical expert.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nope. Thank God for that. Thank God you didn't become a nurse like you said you were going to.
That was a very short stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a much longer period of time, I thought I would do rally car racing with Travis Pastrana. So,
So that lasted longer than your ambitions to be a nurse. So.
yeah. Yep.
Like, it's the way to this. Either help people, save people.
Yeah.
Or
Rally car
rally
racing.
car racing.
Yeah. With Travis Pastrana. That was the dream.
Pastrana. Yeah. That
Yeah.
was the dream.
Yeah. I thought I was going to live there and be married to him for quite a long time. So it didn't work out, as you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I married someone with much less money.
Yeah. And we still use your fangirl email every
That's
once
true.
in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not going to announce it because I don't want to get weird emails.
Yeah.
But my email address, it does have Travis Pastrana in it.
Yeah.
Yep, I've had it since I was 15. When I was quite certain that one day I was going to grow up and marry him.
It's probably a lot of people watching have no idea what Travis Pastrana is because they're on both ends of the spectrum, either like the older generation or like the younger generation.
Well, kids, Travis Pastrana is the best freestyle motocross rider in existence.
Yeah, he did push the envelope on a lot of what
True.
would you call X Game sports?
You could say that Nate was a big inventor of like basics, and then everything he would come up with, Travis Pastrana made better.
Yeah.
So Travis Pastrana literally revolutionized the sport of freestyle motocross.
Yeah.
One time I became a fan of his because I was watching the X Games one time, and he built his own bike, and they they did something, and he was doing a trick, and the whole front of the bike fell off, and he crashed. And then he just got up and he just like ran over and started high-fiving the crowd, and I was like, that guy's so hot. And that was it. That began my 5 years of being convinced I was going to marry him. It came on the heels of me being convinced I was going to marry Orlando Bloom. And that didn't work out either. So
all right,
but I married you because you're my dream guy.
Yeah, there we go. Bring it full circle there.
Yeah.
Just bring it around. All right.
Look at this stud.
So,
But not too close, ladies.
So, speaking of, we talked about us being canceled. There's something that actually did get canceled this week. CNN Plus.
Oh, I thought with us, I was like, man, what did we cancel?
No, we didn't do any of the canceling.
I just snorted.
No, CNN Plus came to their own demise.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, they were a paid streaming service by CNN.
I thought for sure Chris Wallace was just going to blow that thing out of the park.
Yeah.
After he got out of Fox News because he couldn't stand all those people who were anti-vaxxers.
Yeah.
If you question the vax, I'm out of here.
Is that really why he left?
Yes, it is. In fact,
wow.
he came out and he said that the straw that broke the camel's back, the end of the line was when some of his fellow show hosts questioned the validity and the safety of the vaccine, and he said, "That's it. I just couldn't do it anymore."
Gotcha.
And I was like,
Peace. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really mind Chris Wallace, but like I really lost a lot of respect for him when he moderated that debate.
yeah, when he screwed the pooch on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
he became the voice of Joe Biden instead of moderating.
Yeah. What you mean to say
What you mean to say, Joe?
Were you referring to the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
It was bad.
But yeah, so CNN Plus.
I like that, though. Instead of calling him Chris Wallace, that should be his next show.
What?
Like the title of his next show should be the voice of Joe Biden.
The voice of Joe Biden.
Yeah. And it could
Nice.
just be Chris Wallace literally correcting everything that Joe Biden said for the week. That'd be hilarious. I love it.
That might
Yeah.
actually work out.
Yep.
You get like the people who watch it comedically and then people who watch it like, oh, that's what the president really meant.
I've been coming up, man. I've been blasting some great ideas out there this week. I've come up with like several segment ideas, and you
Yeah.
thought they were just wonderful.
Yeah. Sure, let's implement it. Whatever. I mean, at this point.
Yeah. Anyways, so
Yeah.
yep, CNN Plus canceled.
Canceled. Yeah.
Who else? There was somebody else. Was Brian Shelter or whatever his name is. Was he one on CNN Plus too?
what's his name?
The bald guy.
Brian Stelzer, is that his name?
Something
Like that. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it's Brian something. Stelter.
I think it's Stelzer.
But
yeah. I think he had a show on there too. But basically, it wasn't anything different from my knowledge and recollection of like they had like a cooking show on there or something. I don't know. But like there wasn't really much different than what you got out of regular CNN. So I mean like that's probably like the main reason why it failed. But also I think it's because the people don't want to pay for like
garbage
just being preached to. Like people don't like people. I feel like people who watch CNN are like, okay, this is what I have to watch in order to get my news.
Yeah.
But they're not going to actually put their money into something that's like going to tell them that they're doing something wrong constantly.
Yeah, I wonder
all
how
the
many
time.
people would subscribe to CNN if like it wasn't already included in their cable package.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is like they only had 150,000 subscribers when they signed up, and it was
Boom.
like a month ago.
That's less than the number of customers that Netflix lost in the first quarter of this year.
Yeah.
Wow. Netflix lost 200,000 customers.
Yeah.
So CNN Plus had less subscribers than the number of customers that Netflix lost in the first quarter.
I think we're starting to see a good trend. You know, we're starting to see people that are actually like speaking with their money, speaking with their wallets. We're seeing Netflix subscriptions go down. Disney lost $41 billion because of their controversy.
Freaking Disney sucks, man.
And CNN Plus, their streaming service failed. And I think it's just because people are just tired of
wokeness,
of getting content that they do not want. You know,
it's being forced. It's not a choice anymore. It's like they're shoving it down your throat. Yeah, you don't really have like the option to avoid it at this point. Yeah, it's in everything.
It was one thing when Netflix had like their categories of like oh, here's Black
history,
here, like
Black
movies, Black celebration movies. Like you could like watch a category of stuff, and it was like, okay, you can just not watch it. Yeah.
Plus.
Yeah, like queer movies, like it would be a category or something, and it's fine. Like you can just not watch it. But now, on the mainstream movies that Netflix produces, like it's like it has that
saturated.
Stuff. It's like in there. So
yeah, I was actually having this discussion with somebody the other day, like they like a show that they watched, and they were like, when it started out, you had like a nice blend of like different types of relationships, and now it's just like everything is just saturated with homosexual relationships, and they're like, why can't it just be like a normal life?
Yeah,
why does it have to be like so saturated and like
everything feels so shoehorned,
right?
And like
it's forced.
As somebody who, like, we're a conservative Christian family, we understand that there's different lifestyles and different worldviews than we have, and we're okay with watching that stuff as entertainment. But like when you shoehorn it in to like it's so unrealistic, like oh, like you see this movie of a heterosexual couple, you know, they graduated high school together, they fell apart, and now they're coming back, and like, and then like in the middle of it, you see like, oh, like them exploring their sexuality. Like, no, this isn't like we watched this because we wanted to see a love story, not because we wanted to see like a shoehorn in all these worldviews and all. Like it wouldn't make sense if you were watching a movie about the Middle East and like somebody going through their lifestyle as somebody who's like going through a Muslim lifestyle, and then all of a sudden you have like in the middle of it like Christian influence. Yeah. Like, you know, like that wouldn't make sense. And that's exactly what we're getting is like scenarios and lifestyles that don't make sense. They're just shoehorned in just to appease and just to and just to appropriate. Yeah. So like it to me, like I think people are just fed up. Yeah. People are just like, all right, we don't really want to watch this because it's not entertaining. And so you're starting to see people talk with their wallets and seeing subscriptions lapse, and
all of the people who canceled their Netflix subscriptions, make sure you like and subscribe to For the Republic podcast.
Yeah, I can't say that we'll be a entertainment replacement, but we'll try to make you laugh every once in a while.
Did you do the little like subscribe
Yeah, I did. You were like looking at that Mexican
Oh,
restaurant during all
yeah.
that. You were just out. You
I
were
was
just not
thinking
here.
about the guacamole.
Yeah, you were just not here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, like we could talk a little bit about Disney since we kind of mentioned it. I wasn't necessarily planning on going into it, but we can. I think it would be a good thing to talk about. So Disney's been in the news cycle
Mhm.
the last couple weeks, and most recently, Ron DeSantis pushed through his legislatively, like
I
not
love that guy.
not an executive order, which is great. You know,
Nope.
it went through the proper channels and it was
Mhm.
passed through the
He signed it into law like Thursday.
Thursday or
Maybe.
something, where it took away Disney's special rights to be
Self-governed.
self-governed. So they kind of I can't remember what the actual place was called, but it basically covered the
Ooh, I can't
territory
remember either.
of
But yes.
the Disney World parks, and
Which is like thousands of acres, I guess.
yeah, it's pretty
Like,
big.
They own a lot. Like I guess the Disney park is actually only
Yeah.
on just a very small portion.
So
of,
essentially, if people are
their
confused
land.
about this, from my understanding, and I'm not an expert in it by any chance, but from my understanding, back in the '60s, Disney was granted special privileges
Mhm.
so that they would be responsible for their own roads, their own kind of security, their own fire response,
Mhm.
stuff like that. Basically, so it was supposed to be so that the state of Florida didn't have to worry about, basically trying to have the upkeep of all the traffic that's going in and out of Disney.
But it exempt them from certain law
Yeah,
of,
and like
of Florida.
and like especially like there was tax exemptions that went along with it,
Mhm. Yep.
and basically like the Disney was able
Like
to have
they could still push like they could still educate with things that go against Florida
right.
education requirements. So
Yeah.
like they could still push CRT.
Yeah, so
transgender
that's kind
education,
of like the
things
main
like that.
reason why it got revoked was because Disney was outspoken about not upholding the legislation that just went through
Mhm.
about teachers
indoctrination.
and transgender indoctrination to K through, I can't remember, kindergarten through second grade or something, or
I thought
fourth grade, whatever,
it was fifth. I don't
or
know.
maybe fifth, K through fifth, whatever.
I think it was
Yeah.
the grade school.
Anyways, it's been coined as the "Don't Say Gay" bill, which literally has nothing to do with the bill.
Mark Hamill doesn't think so.
Yeah.
Gay.
Yeah. But anyways, it has nothing to do with whether or not you can say the word gay. It just has everything to do with teachers staying
Yeah.
out of the conversation of talking about transgenderism and
Yeah.
talking about
How dare parents want to educate their children on
Yeah.
sexual stuff anyway?
yeah,
That should
and
all be up to the teachers.
and my parents were big advocates of this growing up. Like they actually pulled me out of health sexual education, which I mean, granted, I don't know if that was the right or wrong decision necessarily, but at least like they made it a point where like they wanted to be responsible for teaching me
Mhm.
sexual education and not
Did you
rely
get
on
the
the school.
like the flower, like the seed
The birds
the-
and the beads.
and the water? The water makes the
No.
seed grow into a flower.
I never got any euphemisms. No, it was.
I didn't either.
Yeah,
I feel like we got gypped.
Yeah, it was. I didn't get eased into it. It was pretty raw. It was pretty dramatic. Life
It was
altering.
traumatic.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you cry?
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Cried a little bit. Like, what is this? What is this world coming to?
Yeah, I had to threaten my mom. I was like, "Mom, if you don't tell me, my friends are going to. So here's your chance."
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave her a timeline. I was like,
you
I
gave
was
her an
like,
ultimatum.
if you don't tell me by this day, I'm gonna ask my friends at school because I went to school I went to a public school for 1 grade. It was the worst experience of my life. So
Yeah.
it was really
And
really bad.
And all of our viewers are like, oh, that explains a lot.
The 1 year that I went to public school was far more traumatic than the sex talk I had to have with my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
mean,
didn't cry for that, but I did cry like the entire year.
So like, whether it was right or wrong for my parents to pull me out of that, like I think I could have made that decision by that time because it was like 5th or 6th grade or whatever.
I thought
and-
you were gonna say 15.
No, not 15.
That you were 15.
But I was like, it was like middle school. So like I know actually they pulled me out of the high school one too. So like there was like one in 5th or 6th grade I think that they pulled me out of, and then there was one in 9th grade where my
That must
health
have
teacher.
come after me because like I went to school for 5th grade. That was the grade that I went to school, and we didn't have sexual education in 5th grade.
Yeah.
So it must have been something that was implemented after I went to.
Well, and that's the thing though, is that like the last 20 plus years they've this and this is a good point that I just thought of, is that this isn't anything new that has been in the works. You know,
Mhm.
like this all of a sudden, like this agenda didn't come out of nowhere.
Mhm.
This is something that the education system has been pushing for the last 20 years.
Right.
Like sexual education in the 80s and 90s was reserved for high school.
Mhm.
And then it wasn't until like you and I started going to school that they started getting like lower and lower in the grades. And
Mhm.
now, you know, like 20 years later, geez, we're old. Holy cow. 20 years later, we're now trying to teach it to our kindergartners.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know, the time that I officially decided that when we had children, I was going to homeschool them, because that's definitely something I advocate for at this point in the educational system. It was a few years ago, and I was working at a school, and I worked on the school bus as an aide.
mhm.
So I mostly worked on school buses that had some sort of like need for an aide. The bus that I specifically worked on had a wheelchair student, so they needed somebody to like hook in the chair and stuff, and then like use the ramp and everything, because you have to have 2 people in order to do that. So, but one of the days that I was at work, I had some 8th graders get on the bus, and they said, Miss Brittany. And I was like, what? And they said, do you know what plugging is? And I was like, why are you asking me that question? And they were like, we learned about it in sex ed today. And I was like, why did they need to teach you that in sex ed? And they were like,
Yeah.
we don't know, but now we know how to do plugging. And I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
This is
this is
the
deciding
thing.
factor.
Because why do you need to teach kids
Yeah.
how to shove
That's also the other
drugs
thing.
into certain orifices?
Yeah, that's
in
also
sexual
the
education.
The other thing that has also changed is not only have they been pushing the envelope on how far they can go and how young they can go, the curriculum has also changed.
Yeah. Like, why do you need to teach a 14-year-old that? Like,
Yeah.
I don't it has nothing to do with their sexual health. It has nothing to do with their sexual orientation.
Yeah.
It has nothing to
Sexual
do with
education in public school used to be just what the STDs were and how
How to
to
protect
How to
yourself.
protect yourself. And
Did you put a condom? Well, no, you didn't. But did they put condoms on bananas at your school?
I don't know. I don't know if they learned how to.
I
Maybe.
saw that in a 90s movie, and I thought that maybe that's...
I don't
how
think
it
they.
worked.
I don't think they practiced like the use of condoms, but I think they
Yeah.
showed like. But and also the other thing is that they would separate. They would separate the men and women. They would separate girls and boys, so that girls can learn about female anatomy and boys can learn about male anatomy.
Yeah.
Now I don't think they would do that. I don't think
Yeah.
to me, like, I think that they
A
teach.
group of women got together and decided boys needed to learn more about female anatomy.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, probably.
But
Canceled.
yeah, so
Have I been fired yet?
so full circle, we kind of got off on a tangent. Full circle back to Disney. So Disney decided that they weren't going to abide by the laws that were set in stone that have been properly legislated and passed through. And so DeSantis decided to strip away with a vote.
The
government of Florida.
Decided to strip away their...
That's the other thing. I got to correct myself because a lot of people blame DeSantis, and like DeSantis was just, doing
DeSantis is
what the
knight.
majority of people wanted to do.
Yeah, he's the knight in shining armor on the white horse. So
Yeah.
everybody's looking at him, but he's got a whole army of people behind him. So
Yeah. I mean, and he's just now the one with the backbone. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that Republicans have been wanting to do for a long time.
dude, I love him. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's
I mean,
exactly what I want every single Republican, like, in any sort of government office to do. Like, stand up, have a backbone, and stop being a wuss.
Yeah. And at first I was like a little leery of, because I am on the side of really like less government the better, less government intervention the better. I don't like to get involved in business affairs necessarily. Like, I think the more freedom, the better, even if it's something that I disagree with. But I think that like there is a time where us as people who uphold values and people who live by a certain lifestyle, we have to convey that and we have to live that in everything that we do. And I think that's what DeSantis and the government of Florida, they had a conviction and they sought to, apply that, through the power that they had. And I think, and now like I look at it and I'm like, it doesn't matter what the economic repercussions are from this. Obviously, if it was going to hurt the state of Florida, they probably wouldn't have done it.
No, I don't think so.
So because and what I mean by that is because now Florida is responsible for the debts and everything that Disney has because this was revoked, but also Disney doesn't have those special tax breaks anymore.
Right. So they've received like tens of millions of dollars of tax breaks every year because Disney makes like an astronomical amount of money, like millions and millions of dollars every day.
Yeah.
So their special tax break kind of prevented them from having to pay full taxes on those earnings. So they will now be liable for the full taxation.
But yeah, so like I'm on the side where like I'm all gun ho about it because I think that we've gone too long, and by we I just mean like the people on the right, like politicians especially. We've gone too long where we haven't upheld our convictions. We haven't lived through the powers that we were voted to have, and kind of implement the beliefs that we supposedly live by, and it's created this double standard and it's created this hypocrisy that we see on the right. And it's nice. It's a breath of fresh air to see that kind of change. So
yeah, I think so too. Honestly, like if Florida didn't have so many like snakes and like alligators and crocodiles and
I love Florida.
Humidity, those
I
things.
love Florida, man.
If they didn't have all those things, I would definitely want to move to Florida. But it's the humidity, little much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'd have to work on your Spanish too if you want to live in Florida.
No, fajita. Dude, I know the basics.
You know the basics.
Yeah.
El baño.
Yeah, that too.
Donde es el baño?
I know. ¿Cómo está?
All right, man.
Muy bien.
All right, so moving on.
Me llamo is.
So along.
How do you say Brittany in like an accent? I don't. Let's not try that. That's probably offensive. Okay.
So yeah. So along the topics of indoctrination in our children, we're trying like a little bit of a new kind of fun segment. I think I'll give you an assignment next week to find a video that I can react to. So what?
I'm just thinking of all the videos I could show.
Yeah. Whatever. Keep it PG, man. Come on, man.
No,
Come on, man.
I mean, like, how I send you like goofy videos all week.
Oh. Yeah, no. This is supposed to be so the goal is to find something that's trending, mostly of like the political left, something outrageous, something preposterous.
Sometimes I feel like if our life was a movie, I would be the villain.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways. I don't know where that thought came from.
Because I was just thinking.
Because you're sabotaging this episode? Is that why?
No, I was thinking of all the videos I could play, and then I was like, I had like this little sinister laugh in my mind, and then I was like, man, I might be the villain in our movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. So, I found this video. It's from courtesy of the libs of TikTok.
I have not seen this
video. They reshared it. You have not seen this video. So what we want to do is we want to get your live reaction, and maybe if
I can already tell you it's not going to be good because this guy looks to be a ginger.
This guy looks to be a ginger. All right,
I don't have good experiences.
We're gonna have it on mute. And I'll read it because I think there's copyrighted music on this, but we'll.
Do you want to sing the copyrighted music in the background while I read it?
No.
Oh, okay.
All right, here we go. It says conservatives stop brainwashing our children in the classroom with their LGBT agenda, and then this is a slideshow that was shown to her students. It goes a little fast.
Yeah,
so
okay.
So this slideshow is the slideshow that this teacher showed to her students. So
Oh, very nice.
yeah.
Okay.
So Miss Beeman is now Mix Beeman. And it shows a picture of her, and she says, "You know me as Miss Beeman, and I'm still your teacher, but now I go by Mix Beeman. It sounds like MIX Beeman." So teaching correct pronunciation and stuff. Mix Beeman and he, they. So she's now addressing her pronouns. She says, in class, instead of going Miss Beeman, you will now say Mix Beeman, and instead of saying she, you can say they or he when talking about me. And she says, I am transgender and non-binary. Oh boy, fast. I was born in the wrong body. Even though I was born a girl, I feel more like a boy on the inside, but don't fully feel like either. I am still the same me. It will take time and practice to remember to say mixed Beeman, but we will work through it together. What is and then and now it's lesson time. So not only is she kind of imposing with her personal beliefs and personal lifestyle, which
Are you reacting to this video or am I? Just
All right.
read the video.
Yeah.
Okay,
So anyways,
buddy?
so now she's teaching what is transgender. Sorry. Some people are born in the wrong body. Their body might not match what they feel on the inside. This is called transgender. What is non-binary? Some people don't feel like a boy or a girl. They may feel like both or neither. Non-binary people sometimes go by mix. Mr. is usually for men, and Miss or Mrs. is usually for women. Non-binary do not feel like men or women, so they go by mix. That is why I'm going by Mix Beeman and not Mr. Beeman. So yeah, that's the video. What do you think?
Okay. I think it is not my responsibility to buy into somebody else's delusions. So I do not have to acknowledge your mix or your downstairs mix up or your upstairs mix up or your brain mix up because transgenderism is a mental illness. You not feeling like a boy or a girl is a mental illness. People who identify as dogs are considered mentally ill. People who identify as a different race are considered mentally ill. And people who identify as a different gender are mentally ill. I don't have to buy into your delusion. I don't have to acknowledge that your delusion is truth because it is not truth. It may be your truth. If you want to live that truth, then by all means, feel free to do so. But it's not my responsibility to acknowledge it or to pacify your delusion. So if I were a parent of a student in that classroom, my student would not be saying mix or MX or BMW or whatever else she wants to go by. My child would still call her Mrs. And if that was a problem with her, then she would have my child, I guess, transferred to a different classroom. But it is not my responsibility to acknowledge or to make you feel better because you have a mental illness. And that is my opinion on transgenderism. Could we get Matt Walsh in here?
Yeah.
Where's Matt Walsh?
So
Matt, what do you have to say about this?
I just wonder what people would do if like a teacher decided that she just wanted to teach kids about creation and just talked about Adam and Eve and talked about the fall of man.
I wonder what they would do if the teacher instead educated students on how transgenderism is a mental illness instead of trying to teach them that transgenderism is okay. I mean, like, what would be the reaction there? You think that teacher would still have a job at that school, or at least would be working for a period of time? You know what I mean? Like, they have like, you can indoctrinate students on transgenderism, and you can teach them about how you don't know what your own body is or whatever crap. And so you can do that. But if the same were to happen, but on the opposite spectrum, let's educate students on how transgenderism is a mental illness, how it's not our responsibility to acknowledge or buy into the delusion. Then I don't think that teacher would have a job.
Yeah. There's very few schools in America that would allow a teacher to talk about there only being two genders.
You know what really ticks me off about this is that when people identify as something other than what they are, it's literally always considered a delusion unless it's them identifying as a different gender.
Yeah.
So like there's like those people who identify as animals, like the cat lady. Do you remember she was really big in the 90s? She got all that plastic surgery to look like a cat. There's another guy who he like identifies as like a lizard or something, and like got like his skin tattooed and has like pieces of metal like inserted in his skin to make his skin look scaly and have like bumps and stuff. And people are like, that's a mental illness. They have issues. They're mentally ill. Or the lady who a few years ago she had been living as a black person, or like I don't know if she was if she identified as like black, or if she identified as like mixed or whatever, but she tanned and she dyed her hair, and she would get like a perm so that she would have like an afro and stuff. And like people crucified her, like they went after her hard, like how dare you, it's so disrespectful, blah blah blah. So it's disrespectful to identify as a different color, it's disrespectful to identify as a different species, but it's not a mental illness to identify as a different gender. I don't understand where's the logic there?
Yeah.
When is
there is no logic when it comes to this whole gambit of issues. There is no logic that's being applied.
Right.
And Ben Shapiro and Crowder, Steven Crowder, they both really hammer home the statistics of these people and how suicide rates, how depression, how anxiety, all of this stuff is rampant in the transgender community.
It is.
It's it's on par with people who have schizophrenia, on par who have multiple personality disorders. There's no other demographic, even people that live in like heavily crucified countries, like even people like who live in China, Indonesia, and stuff like that, where they, experience persecution, they experience terrible lifestyles. Even those demographics don't have as high of a suicide rate as people who are transgender.
Right.
And it's literally after, and you can't even say that, oh, it's because they're going through this and then after they transition it becomes better, because the suicide rate is literally the same, if not worse, after a transition.
Right.
So
because once they transition and it doesn't fix their problems, then they're even worse off, because they thought that the transition was going to be the magic cure. Like this is going to be the thing that makes me feel like I'm in the right body, and they still don't, because it's a mental illness. It's not a thing. You aren't born in the wrong body.
Right.
Nobody is born in the wrong body. And the thing is, there's the idea that like, they're empty or they're missing something. And I can 100% tell you they're empty and missing something, because we are all empty and missing something. And that doesn't mean that we all identify as transgender or something, but we all have something in us that it's an innate portion of ourselves that is supposed to be dedicated to God.
Right.
It's supposed to be filled with the Holy Spirit. It's supposed to be filled with God's presence.
Yep.
And so if you don't have that, then you are empty and you're missing something. And you're not going to get that from transitioning to a different gender. You're not going to get it from having a sexual awakening and freedom. You're not going to get it from any
the
other
same
source.
exact sort of and like, lack of a better term, mental illness. Like it sounds so harsh and like disrespectful, but it is a mental fixation. You see the same thing with greed, right? People who chase after money, like they either win the lottery or they come into some fame and fortune, and you see them fall off the face of the earth because they're chasing after that thing that they don't know what's missing. They're running after the wrong thing. And we see this rampant in the transgender and the LGBTQ community, where it seems like the movement is always so angry. It seems like the movement is always so unfulfilled, even though it doesn't matter what color, it doesn't matter what gender you are, it doesn't matter who you love, you can get married. It doesn't matter what you identify as, you can work at any job in this country. Literally, there's nothing that's keeping you from living a fulfilled life but yourself. And you see that even after they transition, go through these surgeries, and I think it was Yeah, it was Steven Crowder who was talking about there's two genders, changed my mind.
Mhm.
And he was saying, just imagine yourself as a thought exercise. Just imagine yourself as a man who hates his penis so much that he wants to chop it off. Like, what kind of mental state you would have to be in?
Right.
And like, same thing with a woman. What kind of mental state would you have to be in that you would want to get rid of your vagina?
Right.
And it to me, like, that like hit home with me that yes, like, I mean, you'd have to hate yourself so much and hate who you are
Right.
that you would go to those lengths to actually change it.
And this is not meant to offend anybody
Right.
by any means, because once again, you are free to live however you want to in this country.
Yeah.
Once again, it's not my responsibility to buy into that delusion. But here's the thing: the transgender movement is not born out of self-love. It is
Yeah.
not born out of self-love. There is this confusion that the transgender movement and the LGBTQ movement and all of these movements want to disguise themselves in self-love. Oh, we've learned to accept ourselves. No, you haven't. You've learned to change yourself. You have learned to hate yourself so much that you would rather completely change who you are than actually love who you are. This is
Right.
not about self-acceptance.
Right.
It's not about self-love. It's not about learning to be who you are, because that's not who you are. You weren't born in the wrong body. Nobody was born in the wrong body. That's not a thing. God
Yeah.
didn't put you in the wrong body. He didn't get confused and say like, oh shoot, they were meant to be Lisa, but now they're Liam. God did not do that. God did not put you in the wrong body.
Just quick on your feet there with those names.
Yeah, dude, it's like flying. But no, God did not do that. So that movement is not born out of loving yourself, because if you love yourself, you're going to love yourself as Liam. You're not going to need to transition into MX.
Yeah. Mix.
You're not going to have to do that, because
Yeah.
you are going to love who you are. And you're going to love who you are because you're going to recognize that God has made you, and he has made you unique.
Yeah.
And he has made you with a purpose. What is that? It made you on purpose, with a purpose, on purpose, something like that. Yeah. That's the Christianese
But yeah,
statement
I
of the
mean,
day.
and I don't want to downplay because I can't imagine what somebody who wants to transition is going through mentally. I can't put myself there. So
You don't want boobs?
No, I don't want boobs. So I'm empathetic, I guess you could say, towards that, that mind state that they're sympathetic, whatever. Yeah, I get those confused a lot. but like but in the end, we all go through things that we wish were different.
Right.
Like we all go through
Everybody has their battles.
I wanted to play in professional sports, but you know what? I'm 5'4", and I don't have the athletic capability of playing professional sports. That's what I wanted to do.
I think you should try out for the NFL. Say you identify as like
identify as 6'2", 190 pounds. Yeah,
190 pounds. That's a little light.
Well, I mean,
what do you want to be?
A wide receiver.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you might want to be a little taller then. Maybe like 6'4".
Okay.
You should be like
6'4".
Martavius Bryant, like real tall.
I mean,
lanky.
yeah. Why would I limit myself? I should go 6'4", 205 pounds.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, man.
And you know what? No matter what I run on the
really
40-yard dash,
big hands too.
I'll just say I run 4.2. I'll run like with my bad back. I'll run like a 6-second 40-yard dash, and I'll just say 4.2.
4.2.
Yeah.
I identify as 4.2, not height.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like there was like, and I know it sounds goofy and it sounds stupid and it's not even close to being as serious as something like changing your gender, but like I was adamant about athletics when I was a kid, and I realized that I came to a point where everybody was growing around me and I wasn't. So like there's no way I could have been competitive enough to stay with athletics. So then I just had to stop playing. So like I mean, we all come to a point in life where like we wish that we could be something that we're not. And
I wonder when I go shopping if I identify as wealthy. If my
Oh, dude, there's a great TikTok, man. It's a couple years old now, but he's like, I identify as rich. It's great. And this whole thing. Like his credit card declines, and he's like, that can't be. I identify as rich.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, is your credit card still gonna get declined if you identify as rich?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
not the person rich, not but actually rich, wealthy.
Yeah.
You could change your name to Rich.
Rich.
I said that one time. I said.
Is that so you can call me a derogatory term?
No. Somebody one time they were like,
Here I was going with that.
no,
Oh.
I didn't get it.
What's the nickname for Richard?
Richie?
Okay, never mind. Went over her, guys. But anyways.
So one time somebody was like asking me what my life plans were, and I said I'm going to marry Rich, and they said, you're going to marry somebody named Rich? And I was like, no, I'm going to marry somebody who's wealthy. And they were like, oh, okay.
Oh my god!
I'm not going to marry somebody named Rich.
Dude, man, you're scatterbrained today. This is great. Good content.
Yeah.
But
It's lack of sleep.
Yeah.
I have like a combined maybe 5 hours of sleep over the last 2 nights. So I'm just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, staying along the topic, we see that society knows that it doesn't have the answer to transgenderism. So we see ridiculous things, especially from our government, good things happening in California.
Hey, that's a little offensive. Ridiculous things coming from our government. Our government has it together.
They have it together. Oh, yeah. So there's a U.S. city in California that has approved funding.
City of Palm Springs.
Palm Springs has reportedly approved $200,000 in funding for initial research and program design of guaranteed income pilot program. That's a handful.
Yeah, this is.
But basically, it provides
courtesy of the Daily Wire.
Yeah, courtesy of the Daily Wire provides financial assistance to marginalized individuals for likely a period of 18 months. So this is targeted to transgender and non-binary people. So if you identify as transgender and non-binary, you could be eligible for some royalties from
guaranteed income from the city of Palm Springs. So you just got to move to Palm Springs, and you can get guaranteed income for existing as a transgender or non-binary person.
Yeah. And so
how long do you think you have to identify as a non-binary person before you can get like the income?
I would say, well, it says like it's in need for a likely period of 18 months. So just identify as one of those marginalized groups for 18 months and then just say, I detransition. I'm just going back.
Yeah. That's what I was just wondering. Like, could you just move there and get the
how long you have to be a resident?
Like a resident or a transgender. Could you just move there and then automatically qualify for the program?
It's California, so you can probably just rent out a cardboard box. Because like homeless people are
I don't think you have to rent it. Do you?
I mean, like you just claim it, I guess.
Yeah, because they have those like Well, I don't know. Do they? They might not have. They might not have like a.
Oh, speaking of which, these two I don't want to say movements, but these two demographics have been clashing. I don't know if you heard about this, but there was the city of the homeless people in San Francisco. I think it was San Francisco. There was like tent city.
Where they have like it's just like a whole huge area of people who have city, like their makeshift housing.
And there's like people have HD TVs hooked up to their tents and stuff. Yeah. Apparently they cleared them out because because
what they do with them?
Well, they just said they can't be there anymore because there's a gay parade. So you see how that works? See how morals and ethics just get thrown out the window? See, there's this tent city that was to accommodate the homeless and give them a place to live and to express themselves freely. But as soon as another marginalized group has a higher priority, probably because they have a little bit more tax dollars than the homeless, they decide that
You know what I call that?
Too low on the totem pole.
You know what I call that bill? Don't say homeless bill.
Don't say homeless bill.
Yeah, that's what I call that bill.
Yeah. So San Francisco got rid of their homeless tent city.
When you said got rid of, I literally was picturing like a scene out of one of those like apocalyptic movies where the like the government goes in with like just like a bunch of ARs and you just start hearing like and when you said like they got rid of them, I was like, wow. Yeah, they shot all their homeless people.
I don't think they shot them. No, that's.
They just cleared them out.
They just cleared them out.
Do you think they put them up in hotels? Like gave them rooms for the night?
Yeah, probably. That wouldn't surprise me.
Don't say homeless, Bill.
Don't say homeless.
Tell you what.
Yeah.
California.
Yep, California. Good things.
Times. Well,
times.
it was funny because we were at a conference over the weekend, and somebody mentioned Sodom and Gomorrah, and I was trying to decide which modern day cities or like which modern day places would be Sodom and Gomorrah, and I've come to the conclusion that it is New York and California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one's which?
I don't know. It doesn't. Well, you know what? I can tell you, California is Sodom.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of sodomy going on over there. Is that what it is?
I need to go to bed.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
We're
Anyway.
gonna give this lady a nap. You know, she's been doing hard work. You know,
Yeah.
being a mom and stuff. She's the one that gets up in the middle of the night where I just pretend I'm sleeping like a baby.
I identify as all the persons
Yeah.
in this house.
I identify as the sleepy one.
You identify as the one asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, well, you guys enjoy your rest of your evening. Wherever you are, hopefully it was a nice day. It was a nice day here. We had some beautiful weather. Love it.
Yeah, I think we should get the stroller out. Take the baby for a stroll in the
stroll.
stroller.
All right.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Peace and love.